Okay, chat, Illuminate support weapons. Let's rank them. Feel free to chip in. I'm going to go out on a limb straight away. Start with the Wasp, and I'm going to put it straight into S tier, just to set that top marker. Actually been sleeping on this a while. If you haven't played this yet, folks, make sure you do, because it is absolutely cracked. It 4-shots flesh mobs. It can one-shot overseers. It struggles a little bit with harvesters. You do have to fire quite a lot off to get the bang for buck for it. But if you pair this with a nice primary weapon, incredibly powerful. If you can strip the shields off, you make life a lot easier for yourself, obviously. But I would say for me, the fact that you can run around blowing up flesh mobs, not only easily, but at range, and the lock-on just makes it an absolute dream to use. I don't know what anyone else thinks about this, but for me, S tier, probably at the top of the S rank as well. The only thing I would say about it is, obviously the reloading can be a bit of a pain, but I think it's quite straightforward personally. S tier for me. So the sterilizer for me is a D tier weapon. I just don't find it useful. I think it's a bit of a meme. Can you do well with it? Absolutely. It is fun to play if you're memeing. But for me, if we're being real, particularly the way I play, it's a D for me. It just doesn't ever feature. Could they make it better? Absolutely. 100%. I don't know what you think, chat, and obviously sound off in the comments below if you've got any different thoughts on this, but for me, it just feels like a bit of a meme weapon. Let's discuss the machine guns next. I think the machine guns are often an interesting one to discuss because people have very varied opinions of this. I'm going to go quite bold and put the HMG 206 at S tier. The heavy armor pen, the way this thing shreds through flesh mobs, the way this thing can shred through stingrays, it can shred through harvesters, it gets through the shields of things as well, so there's no annoying weapon switching. It does incredible work, especially if you're playing it in loadouts with the sentry and other high fire rate weapons. Put this on high RPM and it just blasts. It's incredibly strong, and I know people have varied opinions on whether they prefer this versus the MG43 on the Stalwart, and we'll discuss them in a moment, but some people would argue that the MG43 is actually better because it handles better. I know some people might put this in S. I'm really torn between it being high A and low S. Chaoski heavy machine gun is great. However, personally, I'd throw it in A tier, being let down by its recoil. MGS HMGA, so Gigant's gone the other way. I think people would agree in some cases, but I don't agree. I put the HMG 206 in S. I prefer it. Let's move on to the Stalwart. It's incredibly powerful. In fact, all three of the weapons are very strong in terms of how they pair with the Eruptor. I think for me, Stalwart on a high RPM, especially in a Gatling loadout, is S tier. I would say that the fire rate and the rotation you can play with this, fire an Eruptor shot, rotate into the Stalwart, and it rips through it. Same applies for the other MGs as well. The only thing that there is a problem with is things like harvesters. It just doesn't do anything to them. Next up, I'm gonna go with one of my favorite weapons that's in the game at the moment, and that's the laser cannon. So tempted to put this in S, but I think the reason why I find this such a strong and powerful choice is because I often play it in a fire gas wombo combo. I feel to get the most out of the laser cannon, you need to play a very specific way. Obviously, you can rotate with different weapons to mean you never need to reload and keep it going constantly, and that's so strong. If you are playing the laser cannon in isolation and not pairing it off with scythe, not pairing it off with double-edged sickle, not pairing it off with gas dog, gas grenades, then it doesn't perform as well as you would hope. Is the laser cannon better than the MG43 against Illuminate? That's the question. The laser cannon can break shields fairly well. It can take out a harvester with about a full battery charge, a full heat sink rather. It can melt flesh mobs in the right circumstances. But if you took the MG33, that melts them much more consistently. On those grounds, it's probably going to be an A tier choice for me, which pains me because I absolutely love it. And actually, I would say the laser cannon recently has been one of my most played weapons. AMR, I've had some really great success with the AMR, using it in conjunction with the Scorcher. If you use the Scorcher and you switch the AMR and mag dump into targets that you haven't finished off, it's absolutely awesome. And you can obviously take out Stingrays with the AMR. You can take out the harvesters, I believe, in 4 hip shots, which is absolutely awesome as well. But this all comes with the caveat that you need to have absolutely awesome aim. And no matter how good you are at aiming in this game, you are always going to find yourself being slapped, aim punched, and that can be very detrimental. It shreds flesh mobs if you can land all your hits quickly. It shreds harvesters. It can pick watchers out of the sky. It can pick overseers out of the sky. I'm going to place this in low A. I think that once you've got the hang of it, it's worth using, but it is inconsistent. This will be a very low A choice. It will not be anywhere near the top. It's quite far away from S, but I wouldn't place it in B. I just feel that the fact that you could take out harvesters and the fact that you can shred through flesh mobs makes this a really nice choice. AMR personally is B. Yeah, I can see why people would place it in B. I get it. I do get it. Let's take a look at our friendly Airburst. I'm saying that laughing. I know some people love this weapon, and I know some people swear by it, funnily enough. It's great at clearing chaff, and you can do some really wacky stuff with it, but it's just so wonky. It's not consistent. It's pretty trash, in my opinion. I'm not going to put it as low as the Sterilizer. I do think that it has more of a place in a loadout, and if you are one of those Helldivers that has mastered, in inverted commas, how this thing works, you can do some nutty stuff. Airburst one-hits flesh mobs and clears hordes. It's good, in my opinion. So there you go. Thomas likes it. S tier when it was an hilarious team killer, yeah. This is a solid C tier weapon. It just doesn't do enough. When you land it right in the middle of a group, yeah, it can clear out chaff, and it can sometimes do more than what you would expect against flesh mobs and overseers and all that good stuff, but for me, it just doesn't feature. Take a look at the Spear next. The Spear is an interesting one against Illuminate. We were just testing it before. It can one-shot a harvester if you bust the shield, which is really nice. It's 2-shot in flesh mobs. That's not great, but obviously, you'll know where I'm going with this. Our friendly Leviathan goes down, and I believe it's 4. Where this weapon strength really lies is if you can team reload and have 2 people using this, you can absolutely decimate Leviathans, and at the moment, that is needed. Other than that, though, you're kind of pinholding to that role. Like, if you're running around on a map where Leviathans don't spawn, it's not great. I'm going to put the Spear, for that reason, in B. Whilst we're on the topic of anti-tank, let's take a look at the Recoilless rifle. So the Recoilless rifle absolutely splatters most things it comes into contact with. It's very strong against harvesters. You can one-shot a harvester if you hit it in the right place. It takes out things like Stingrays. It can do serious work to Leviathans, especially if you have it on the team reload. It's probably better than the Spear because of its ammo economy. Is it A tier? I feel like its use cases are still strictly Leviathan. I don't feel like it warrants being placed in A tier. That might absolutely devastate some people who are team Recoilless, but for me, it's a high B. It's going to go above the Spear. It edges it out because of the ammo economy. I don't think it's an A tier weapon against Illuminate. I really don't. Despite Helldivers running on a fairly old game engine, it never ceases to amaze me how utterly epic and beautiful this game can look. The sinews exploding everywhere when we torch a little squirmy Terminid to death. It all just looks absolutely insane. That's why I'm excited to be partnering with Apex Gaming PCs. If you're thinking about upgrading your setup, Apex Gaming PCs has got you covered. Whether you need a high-powered rig for massively demanding games like Monster Hunter Wilds, or you just want things to run buttery smooth, they've got pre-built and custom systems that can handle it all. Plus, there's some solid discounts going on right now, so if you've even been considering an upgrade, now is a great time to check them out. And don't forget to use code FaZe at checkout for a 5% discount. The links are in the description below. Commando is a very interesting one. You get 4 shots with the Commando. If you strip the shield off a harvester, you can take it out in 4 shots now, which is absolutely awesome. The real question will be, is it better than the expendable anti-tank? I would say yes, it is better than the expendable anti-tank. The expendable anti-tank takes out flesh mobs in 3 shots. The expendable anti-tank takes out the harvester in 3 shots. The Eat doesn't take out flesh mobs in 1 shot from the experience we just had previously. An Eat does 2,000 damage per shot and flesh mobs have 6,000 HP. I'm going to put it high B. Is it better than the Spear and the Recoilless? I think it is, because the use cases of it find more value in taking it. We're in a weird state with Illuminate because we've got to take care of Leviathans. We've got to, and at the moment, the way they behave, you've got to spec for that job. So let's go for the Eat then. The Eat is not as good, I would say, as the Commando. The fact that you've got to, in some cases, pick it up 3 times. So that's a full stratagem rotation. I'm going to put this in front of the Spear behind the Recoilless. Now, the Railgun has had a bit of a buff in the sense that it plays better against the Harvester. But playing it holistically, it just doesn't perform well against Overseers. It doesn't perform well against Harvesters. Is it better than the Airburst? It's better than the Airburst. Other than the way it performs against Harvesters, it's not a particularly effective weapon against Illuminate. I would not put it anywhere near A. I don't think it's as effective as anything we've got in B. Is it more effective than the Airburst? Because it doesn't TK, so I'm going to pop that in high C. Arc Thrower, absolutely awesome against Illuminate. If you want to go on Horde Clear duty, it just CCs and absolutely wrecks everything. I don't think this needs much discussion. It's not S tier for me. You can kill things like Harvesters, but it does require you to get close, and it will require you to use probably the Arc Armor. The same with the Flamethrower in a moment. Is it better than the MG43? I don't think so. Is it better than the laser cannon? Is it better than the laser cannon? I think it's more consistent than the laser cannon. So I think it was actually an A tier choice here in the middle. I just feel that if you get into a rhythm and have the right loadout surrounding you with this weapon, you are absolutely onto a winner. You get some insane kill counts using this thing. And if you use it in an energy weapon setup with the Scythe or something like that as well, you're also laughing. You can use it with the Eruptor. It's quite versatile. The only thing the Arc Thrower isn't good at is dealing with aircraft enemies. So you mean the Stingray. Yeah, that's true. So pair it with the Eruptor and you've got that covered. It becomes a teammate repellent. I always say with the Arc Thrower and the Blitzer, if you want to use these weapons to the highest level, you are the person that needs to be thinking about positioning. People that use it and go around killing their teammates, that's on you, not your teammates. If you can use the Arc Thrower to a high standard and you are constantly scanning and positioning, if you are locking in with this weapon, it's incredibly strong. I'm of the opinion that if you team kill, that's your fault, not your teammate. I'm going to put it above the laser cannon. I think that the Arc Thrower's ability to deal with Horde is just absolutely amazing. And then it also has the ability to deal with the other things we've just discussed. The only thing it can't deal with is obviously Stingrays. I like the laser cannon and the Arc Thrower debate's cool as well. Would I use both of them? Absolutely. My most used weapon in the last month has been the laser cannon. I love the laser cannon. But this is what I was saying before, chat. The Arc Thrower and the laser cannon are both very niche weapons. If you are not used to the playstyle they require to get the most out of them, you're not going to enjoy them as much. The laser cannon is decent on its own if you use it with gas, and if you use it with the Scythe, and you use the rotation approach, the fire gas wombo combo, and you get confident with using that rotation, you can absolutely cook everything. And those of you that watch the channel a lot will know I was locked into this when Super Earth got invaded. I was clearing up using that setup. We had numerous people go, wow, that looks good, let me try it. And then coming back and going, oh my word, what a strong combo. Autocannon. Autocannon's a great one. You've got flak rounds and you've got Apex rounds. This thing is really, really fun to use. Flak against groups of flesh mobs, overseers, horde. If you can aim and spam, absolutely awesome. So good. Where it falls a little bit flat is against harvesters when you're using the regular shot. I wouldn't put it in S tier. I definitely wouldn't put it in B tier either. I think that it's definitely an A tier choice. Would I use the autocannon over the laser cannon? You've almost got a choice here between high burst and sustained damage. That's essentially what you're looking at. You're looking at high burst, lack of ability when reloading, very devastating when you're in the right position. Two different types of ammunition, flak and of course the regular shot. Very, very attractive versus infinite ammo, constant maneuverability, a free stratagem slot. The autocannon is not great against harvesters. Autocannon can break spawners. Interesting debate going on. I'm putting it in high A, but I'm not putting it at the top of A. I just feel that the MG43 feels more useful. It feels more comfortable to use. Grenade launcher is absolutely terrible against harvesters. It's also highly effective against flesh mobs, highly effective against hordes. It can be spammed. It can be run with a supply pack, and you can do devastating work. You can't really deal with stingrays. I'm going to put the grenade launcher above the AMR, but below the laser cannon. I just feel that the grenade launcher can deal with hordes really quickly. If it's fueled by the supply pack, you don't really even need to aim well with it. You can just sort of spam in the middle of everything and cause some utter devastation. The only place it's really falling short for me is harvesters, but that's okay because we can deal with that other ways. Flamethrower can kill harvesters. It can deal with chaff quite easily, but it requires you to be close to overseers. It requires you to be close to flesh mobs. It also requires you to use arc armor to deal with harvesters, which is not particularly favorable. I actually don't think it's as useful as all these things. Do you know what? I'm going to put it low B. I'm going to put it low B. And that leaves us with the Queso, the last one, the Quasar cannon. Yep, okay, so would I use the Quasar over the Sterilizer? Of course. Would I use it over the Airburst? Of course. Would I use it over the Railgun? Yes, I would. I think it belongs in low B. Yes, it can deal with harvesters. It's just not great. The wind-up time, the cooldown, the amount of waiting around and variables that introduces, and the way that the Illuminate play, you quickly find yourself being overwhelmed. It's a single target weapon. I'd find it hard to pair it with something as well. So for that reason, I'm going to leave that at B at the bottom. The flag I haven't included and the de-escalator is bugged. So at the moment, we are not going to be ranking that at all. Folks, sound off in the comments below with your thoughts and feelings about where you would place things. And as always, let's keep it civil. People have different opinions on this game and what works and what doesn't. Maybe you've got a different angle that you want to provide. Let's keep it constructive in the comments below. Check out this next video. It's got you covered. Take care of yourselves. Keep having fun. Come check out a stream on YouTube or Twitch, and I'll see you in the next one.